Namaste, everybody. I didn't want to worry anybody. I saw a couple of messages of people who were worried about the tornado. Yeah, the tornado stopped, kind of passed over us. We did have hail and a lot of rain, a lot of wind. We had the dogs, the dogs were sitting right next to me on the couch. So I was hugging them and loving them up. But I just want to let everybody know Devin is fine, I'm fine, Connor is fine, Casper is fine, and Snoopy Baxter is fine, and Spider-Man is fine, and everything's okay in the house. This house is from my brother-in-law. Pretty sure he made it because he's a good woodworker, John McAdams. But anyhow, just wanted to let you guys know. Didn't want you to worry. I'm getting ready to Netflix. I watch a show called Killing Eve just so I can go to sleep. No, I know. It's a little bit funny. It's a funny show, but I know it's probably not the best show for me to watch when I'm going to sleep. Maybe I'll watch something else, but anyhow, that's my recent show that I like. But I wanted you guys to know that we are okay. And this is a bottle. This was a Saratoga sparkling water bottle that I got, and I really liked it, so I kept it. It's blue. You can't really see it in the darkness, but it's blue, and Devin put a light in it because he knew I liked it. Anyhow, guys, that's me and Devin. That's our kids at our wedding. Let me show you. I know you saw this before. Okay, anyhow, so I just wanted to tell you guys, I did a lot of work earlier today, but then I didn't have the energy to come on and talk about the work. I just want to let you guys know I'm doing a lot of work on the cases. I have a lot of things that I want to talk about, more than 5 minutes, but it's gonna have to wait because I'm just really getting back to myself. I still have to put away the Easter stuff. The Easter stuff is out. Easter stuff is out. And that bugs me. But yeah, I'm just like really nesting because I'm still worn out from my trip. And I was coughing before, so I wasn't sure if I was supposed to take my cough medicine. But then I only coughed like 4 times, but I know it helps me sleep. I did have trouble sleeping last night. Just sometimes my medicine just does not work, and I've been having trouble with my stomach again. I think it's just like a traveler's stomach, and I have irritable bowel syndrome, so it just makes me have to use the bathroom all the time and get like stabbing pains in my stomach. But anyhow, other than that, everything and a tornado. Other than that, everything's okay. But I'll give you a little disclaimer about what I'm gonna come back at you with. See, I have my tea set up. Got my chamomile tea. Was gonna have wine, but I figured that would give me more stomach pains. And I got my salsa, my sparkling salsa, which I just friggin' love. Because I don't really like to drink water, but I did drink water. Okay, so what I wanted to tell you guys, if anybody cares, is I am opening up my readings again, but there's a little bit of a different spin on it. It's different prices, don't worry. I will have everything written out, and I'll explain it to you. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. See, what happens is the dogs don't want to separate from me, and they were with me all day, all night, like for hours. And the only time I put them back in their room was when I was cooking dinner. Anyhow, so what I wanted to say is, I know the psychic told me to monetize, but I still have to figure out how to do it. And it's too soon for me. Like, I ask the angels and they say, whatever you want. But I know that I have a month, that there's only a month of school left, or less than a month, when I go back to work on the 6th, Monday. Get down. Get down. Go to bed. When I go to work on the 6th. I'm trying to make as much money as I can because my bill was really high for traveling. And I won't be able to make anything near it, but I could shave off a couple of hundred. That'll be good. But what I'm planning on doing is, now you got me in a chatty mood. What I'm planning on doing is my regular readings are videos, and they will still be, I believe, 60 for 30 minutes, right? So it's a little bit shorter, but I have to make it fair to myself. I have to make this is what the psychic told me in Ireland. I have to make my work valuable, and my services are valuable. Like, in other words, you gotta stop giving away everything for free and doing hours and hours of work. Even though I know a lot of people have tipped me, like I would do back in the day. It's been a while. Back in the day when I would do a reading, sometimes that reading would be an hour or 3 videos, or 2 videos or 3 videos or 4 videos, whatever it was, and they would tip me, extra. And that, but now I'm going to do like a $60. For $60 you get a 30-minute reading, right? Video, and you could go back to it, you could watch it, whatevs, right? But if you want something longer than that, I will have that available, and I'll tell you the prices. I can't remember what I have problems with math and business, so I had to ask Devin. First, I made the mistake, I was asking Connor, and he's bad at math too, just like me. But he's an Aries, so he thinks he's right. But anyhow, so I had to ask the Taurus. Devin's very good at math. I will admit to you, I am very bad at math, and I can't figure it out. So, but I did figure out that I am going to make available, if some people do actually like to do a phone reading. I used to do them back in the day. I used to do them in the 90s and the 2000s. And then when I got busy with work, and I had 2 jobs, remember, I worked at elementary school and I worked in the college. So, and I had 2 kids. But even like, when I lived in my apartment and I worked in Brooklyn all day, and then I had my night job in the college, a lot of people wanted me to give them readings. They came with money. They knew me from back when I used to work in PS19, or they knew me from wherever, and they waited for me. This one girl, she was a para, and she waited for me. She didn't want anybody else. I kept giving her names of other psychics that I knew, and she waited for me. And like, this is a sad story. You always know it's going to be a sad story if I tell it. But her name was Laura. Oh my God, how did I mess that up? That's my daughter's name. Her name was Laura, and she came to my apartment. She came to my house. I had psychic parties. I had people who came as a reader, and I had friends at that school. Yeah, hey, shocker. I had friends at PS19, and so I would invite them over my house for different things. And one of the things that I invited them over for was I had a psychic. And I don't know if I read them. No, I don't think I read them. I had somebody come over and they all chipped in their money and we were all read. But Laura always wanted me to read her. So she waited for me. And I just had a lot of personal stuff going on. I got divorced after 24 years. I had moved out of my house and moved into an apartment. I had to take a job from instead of Staten Island to Brooklyn, and that meant driving over the bridge. So it was a lot, and I was like, the last thing on my list was to do a reading. I did not want to do a reading. But when she kept on asking a mutual friend for this reading, I finally had to say yes because and just come home from work. I would fall asleep with my legs up on the against the she actually wanted to take me out for dinner first, and she went out to dinner on Noodle Lane, and I feel so badly because I just wanted to come home, meditate, like walk my dog. I had a dog, Cleo, Devin's dog Cleo, that stayed with me from 2012 to 2015 when we got married. But I overtook Cleo, and so I just wanted to spend some time with my dog. And Cleo, then she finally came over, and I had some things set up for her, and she brought over a bottle of wine. And the reason why it's sad is because I gave her this reading, and she was young. She was in her 40s, I think. Her late 40s, yeah, because she was like a year older than me, or a year younger than me. And so I was in my 40s, my late 40s, so was she. And P.S., she was trying to lose weight, and she was working out, and she was on all these diets, and she friggin' went to an exercise class and passed out, and she had a stroke. They rushed her to the hospital, and she died. And I'm not laughing. It's just like, I always felt guilty because I was like, I should have met her on Noodle Lane and went out to eat with her because she was eating seafood. I could have got something. It's just it was a time constraint, but I gave her a really good reading. And she was like, does Devin have any brothers? And I was like, yeah, he does, but he lives in Texas. Because at this time, I was on Staten Island. I was like, yeah, but you're married. And I guess she wasn't. She was not happily married. She had a very complicated situation that was going on. And it was just so sad. It was like she went to all this school to become a teacher. And then she decided to stay a para because she said she didn't want all the work that teachers have. So she stayed a para. And she hated being a teacher. She said when she finally got in, she did get in. And I told her, stay as a teacher for at least 5 years so you can get vested. And she was like, well, I can be vested with all my para work. And she just was like, I hate it. I just absolutely hate it, being a teacher. So then she said she was going to go down to being a para. I don't even know if she went down to being a para. Why am I telling you this story? It's so odd of me to tell you the story. I guess because when I start to think about doing my readings again, I think about Laura. And, but I did give her a good reading. I saw her over by a chair, by a pool and palm trees. And she said, well, that's weird that you say that because she said, and I knew her aunt. Her aunt was a principal in a school that I used to work at too. And she was a good woman. She was a fair woman. Anyway, She had passed away, very young. And her sister had passed away in the shower. She was asking me a lot of questions about her sister. And I was channeling her sister and giving her messages and saying, you really have to get your life to be less stressful. It was too like her husband wasn't working or something. She gave up her house to her sister or brother-in-law or sister-in-law, and she moved into the smaller part of the house with her kids. I don't know. It was like really odd friggin' situation. Nobody was paying the rent. She was the only one working her ass off. And so it just makes me like life is so fragile and so short. She wasn't doing what she wanted to do. And she looked at me and she said, "Oh, that's weird because that you see the palm trees because one day I got so fed up with my personal life and my work life, and I just said I'm friggin' going to visit my aunt in Puerto Rico." And she said she went on a plane and she went by herself. And she said she had the best time. She was sitting by the pool on the chairs by the palm trees, and she goes, "That's probably what you're picking up." And I was like, "Oh, so you talk to your aunt all the time?" And she was like, "No, she passed away a couple of years ago or something, like a little bit after she saw her." And then I go, "Oh, okay." But what happened was, I guess I was seeing her with her aunt who passed away. And so, long story short, Cleo, my dog, wouldn't stop like licking her leg. And Cleo was like, a little bit standoffish. She was an English bulldog. And she was a little bit like, hey, I don't want to share my mom with anybody. But she would like go and lay down. But wherever Laura went, she had to sit next to her and lick her leg. And it was the oddest thing because she wasn't like that with anybody else. And Laura was a little bit like, hey, what is she doing? She pet her, but then Cleo wouldn't leave her alone. And I was wondering, maybe Cleo picked up on that she wasn't going to be long in this world because it happened soon after the reading. I mean, she did tell my friends, "Oh, I really liked my reading, by Katrina, oh, she called me Kathy. Kathy gave me a really good reading. I finally got my reading," and which I did not charge her for because she was my friend and she was my coworker, a colleague, and she waited all that time for her reading. And that's why she wanted to buy me dinner. But she did bring me the wine, and I would not drink that wine. Number one, it was that sweet wine. I think Devin ended up drinking it one day because he likes the sweet, but he's diabetic, so he really shouldn't. But I don't know. Somehow somebody drank that wine, but I didn't want to drink it because out of respect for Laura. And I just felt like if I drink it and it's gone, then she's gone. But I know that's not true. I know that's not true. But guys, I don't know why I'm talking about this story. It just came up, and maybe I didn't want to just do a quick video. Now it's 2 a.m. And I am not feeling tired, but I'm gonna hang up because, all right, so bottom line was, back in the day, people used to call me. They used to do a phone reading. Like I had clients that lived in Jersey, clients lived in Brooklyn, lived in Manhattan, lived in Florida, quite a few that lived in Florida, and they like to do phone readings. So I'm going to bring that back if people want it. That's going to be available, and I'll tell you all the prices. I don't want to talk prices now. It's too late. But yeah, I just feel like, I don't know, maybe Laura was trying to, Laura, not my daughter, Laura in heaven, Laura, my friend, was trying to tell me, bring those back. You never know, that when people need it, they need it. And yeah, I was kind of like the psychic in Ireland really got me spot on, because she said, "You shut everything down." And I was like, yeah, well, I get like that. I get like either I do everything, a million things, or I just like shut down and I just kind of do survive. And I was just doing the cases, for free, and going to work, and that was it, really. And every once in a while, I was doing a collective read. And then she goes, and not really too much art, but she said, yeah, you got to open everything up again, especially the readings, and monetize money. And that's what it kind of creeps me out, but I really see that it's needed because, it's just, you give out energy, you do your energy, and that's okay to do the cases on the side, a collective reading on the side. I know I still have to do Aries, even though no one's asked me. And now I have to do Taurus. We're almost out of the Taurus season, but don't worry. I'll get it done. I'm going to write it down on my schedule. But it's okay to do all that, but it's also okay to sell my artwork and to also sell my readings. And that's it. And, go from there. But anyway, guys, I don't know what the frick I'm talking about. I just figured you guys needed to know I was okay. Everybody was okay. That's not nice to just say, hey, a 2-minute video. This is a tornado coming. Okay, bye. Okay. I don't think that's fair. So, for those of you who love me out there, I love you back. I love you no end. And I'm coming back. Finally, after I've taken a shower and put my makeup on, I like to put my face on. Devin says something really nice to me today. He said, I think you look very beautiful. And I was like, oh, thank you. You don't have to just pretend I look like a dog. I haven't been putting my face on. I haven't fixing my hair because I'm just nesting, resting and nesting. And he goes, no, I'm not the type of person that thinks that you look beautiful just with makeup on. You look more beautiful when you don't have any makeup on and you're just in relaxed clothes. And that's when you look the most beautiful. And I was like, the check is in the mail, sir. The check is in the friggin' mail. How do you do? Where is that clattering? Where is that clattering? It's just right over there. Let's see if the clattering is available. Let's go see. Here it is. See, I don't know if you could see it inside. Inside it says loyalty. Let's see if you could see it. You might be able to see it. See it? Loyalty, friendship, love. This isn't his first clattering. His first clattering, he didn't even show this to his son. How dare he? Put it over by the booze. Okay. Told you I look like a dog. But anyway, his first clatter ring, he picked it out. Because when he gave me an engagement ring, I think in 2011, yeah, we went out for 5 years. We dated for 5 years. But he gave me an engagement ring in 2011. I thought that was a little soon, but it's okay. It was okay. And then he started saying, "Oh, am I going to get," I go, "I think I should give you an engagement ring." And so he started looking through, like, I guess his eBay or wherever he looks through. And then he found a clatter ring that looked a lot like that. But what happens with Devin is his fingers he loses so much weight in his body, and then his fingers lost weight. He used to be like a size 15, and I have really big fingers, as you could see. Look how puffy they are. They just puff out. That's all puffed out. So, but even when I was skinny, a little girl, my fingers, even when I was at my skinniest, 111 pounds, my fingers expanded, and I used to wear a size 6 ring, and that thing had to be resized so many times that it was like broken. They had to add metal. Okay. Anyway, but Devin's fingers lost weight that he had to keep on putting like Band-Aids on it and the ring extensions. So, but I'm so glad I got him a 13, because the 12 looked, he said 12, and the 12 looked tight, and I tried to put it on these sausage links, these breakfast sausage links, these Italian sausage links. Anyway, and it was tight on me, so I was like, the Irish people are usually, some are small and some are big, but you know, their fingers are probably sized smaller. So I got him the 13, and it fits perfectly. But not that he's wearing it. Okay. And I went down on the knee and wrote a speech. I read him the speech yesterday, and he did start crying. Did I read it yesterday or today? I think it was yesterday. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I rambled on for 27 minutes. Maybe somebody out there will like the Laura story or be sad about the Laura story. But anyhow, I'm going to watch Netflix now, and hopefully I will start to bring it down. Bring it down. Hi, Bayo. I'm going to give you a text. Okay. Love you all. Have a good night. Remember, tell somebody that you love them. Think about what you really want to do with your life that's fun and brings you joy. And make sure, if you don't have a soulmate yet, and you don't have a loved one yet, or you don't have a pet yet, go out and rescue a pet, and you will have a best friend for life, for a few years anyway. And you have to manifest your soulmate. And they're not going to be perfect, because I'm not perfect, Devin's not perfect, okay? But we care about each other. But that doesn't mean we don't fight. We've been fighting lately, okay? And maybe because the wedding's coming. I told him don't worry about it, because already he's like, don't stress me out, like with the date. When are we going to do this? I was like, don't you worry your pretty little mind about it. It's just, we're not doing a thing where we invite a whole bunch of people, because we have no friends over here, except if Ruby wants to come in. Ruby and her husband want to come in, and Coral. But anyhow, no, we don't have any friends here. We just have his brother and maybe 2 other people that are his friends. But it would just be going to the winery. That we have a winery. We used to be in the winery. We used to be like winery members, and we would get a box of wine every other month. Yeah, something like that. And then we realized it wasn't worth it because the wine was like, ugh. I like to go out to the store and pick out my wine individually. I don't want it to just come in a box. So, I don't know what this video is about, but I'm gonna go now because I don't want to embarrass myself further. But I just wanted to let you know, yeah, I'm still wearing my favorite shirt. That's my pajama shirt. But I didn't have it on all day. I had a different shirt on, okay? So that's progress, right? And I just fixed my toupee. Fix my toupee this way. Fix my toupee. See, I do have my face cream on. That's really good. Where is it? Well, I'll show it to you another time. It's in a purple thing, and it's from L'Oreal, and it's very good. You put it on at night, you wake up with no wrinkles. Okay. It's true, though. That one I'm not BSing on. Let me show you. I'm probably going to knock things over, and I'm not even drinking. Okay. Oh, that was hard. Okay, it's L'Oreal. Here it is. And I didn't bring it on my trip. It smells really nice. It smells like home. It's Midnight Cream. It's L'Oreal Midnight Cream. I have a whole bunch of cards. Apparently last night, after I took my medicine, I went into the dining room and I was looking at cards. Found that out this morning. I mean, there was no harm done. But I have these cool cards that I'm sure I got from Devin for Christmas, and I hardly looked at anything, but I have like these tree cards, and I have these other cards with little elves on them with messages. Let me just add a little more to the dry spots, the bags. Let's lift the bags up. But anyhow, yeah, so a collective read will be coming your way. Because it's so sad. I've been watching all the cases. I did a whole page, two pages on Suzanne Morphew today. And I'm like, I still have 8 pages about John Benet Ramsey. And I never did the reading. I didn't publish a reading on it because I just always find like I have so much. Yeah, you know what? Here, in a nutshell, Barry shot her with a tranquilizer gun. And he killed her and buried her. And the daughters don't want to face it. And everybody's like, but they're kids. No, they are not kids. I'm sorry, not sorry. One was 24 at the time of her death. And the other one was, she was younger. She was like 16. But now it's 3 years later. So she is 17, 18, 19. Okay? I'm sorry. She's young. She is young. But I'm pretty sure that both over 20. I know the oldest one is 24, I believe. Anyhow, he did it. He's not in jail. They got to have a whole other trial. But he said she was sleeping, and instead she had all these different clothes on. And then when he saw her, he said that she was in bed. But then she must have went out for a bike ride. So somebody even said that maybe he put some chemicals, tranquilizing chemicals into her port, as well as, her leg, because that's where they found it, on the femur bone. All right? There's bad, bad, evil people out in the world. And it's just like, I want to take law enforcement and smack them and say, don't you see who did this? Don't you see? Anyhow, people have to wake up, and we need to get justice. And guess what I was writing in my notes when I was listening to Nancy Grace talk about Suzanne Morphew less findings. Um, the children will have justice. The children will be found. Um, the women will have justice. The women will be found. The men will have justice. The men will be found. The boys will be found. The girls will be found. Okay, so you might be like, oh, well, that's nice, Katrina, but that doesn't mean anything. Well, it does mean something to me because when I'm sitting there taking notes on a case, I'm kind of channeling. I wrote down Susan Morphew's name a couple of times. I wrote Susan Renee Mormon Morphew, Suzanne Renee, Suzanne Renee Mormon, Suzanne Renee Mormon, Suzanne Renee Mormon, Suzanne Renee Mormon Morphew, Suzanne Morphew, Suzanne Morphew, Suzanne Morphew. And what that all means is it gets me onto a track and I start to feel her energy, and she's just smiling. She's got her hands in front of her and she's like, yeah, Katrina, what did I say? He did it. He did it. And what is done will always come out, okay? It might come out 3 years later. It might come out 4 years later. Kyron Horman, he needs to be found, and his killer, he was killed, okay? He needs to be found. Something of him needs to be found, and the killer, the step monster, has to go to jail. Okay, so I'm gonna go now because I'm starting to get a little bit tired. I don't want to think bad thoughts when I'm getting tired. I'll just instead watch a murdering serial killer show. Okay, because that's how I roll. But anyway, I just wanted to tell everybody I was okay, and thank God Ruby lives in Lubbock, Texas, and she said she's okay. I want to know how the people in Houston are doing because they had a lot of flooding. So let us know. Flyer B, let us know. Everybody, anybody who's dealing with flooding. I know it looks like my nose is broken, but it's just swollen, just like everything on me swells up. Okay, see how right over here looks like I'm swollen? What is that? Okay. No, I'm just getting weird. I'm just getting weirder. All right. I love you all. Sorry about this weird ass video. But Bayo, I'm going to text you and love you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Namaste, my Zen zebras, my merry mermaids, my merry merman, my bella butterflies, my unique unicorns, my namaste ninjas. And I think that's it. Love you all.